Yep.
So, what did we learn from this gank? Decision making. It all starts with map awareness. So,
Awareness.
glancing
Mm-hmm.
at the map first. You see icons and you see your team losing HP, which prompts you to look your camera bot side, and then you gain all the information of the advantages and the disadvantages of the gank. Then the gank execution. We want to take the path where we think they don't have a ward or something. We want to make sure we cut them off. We want to make sure we go for the person that is getting CC'd. And we want to make sure we kite ahead so we can chase them down.
Gotcha. Cool.
What's up, everyone? I'm Coach Leo, also known as Babip. I've been a professional jungler for the past 6 years, played at Worlds 4 times, and have plenty of coaching experience. If you're interested in fast-tracking your learning and achieving your desired rank, book a private coaching session or join the community by heading over to the Jungle Gap Discord, which will be in the description below. Okay, cool. All right. I think things that you're doing well is, like I said, the discipline with not chasing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that a trap that a lot of, not even just low elo players, but just a lot of players in general, don't like to take small wins. So taking a flash is a small win, right? Taking a chunk is a small win, which you're doing that very well. Things that we need to improve on is just general. So we're going to go through how I kind of knew what ganks were good and bad, okay?
Okay.
Because that was one of our focuses, right? And that's all we're going to kind of focus on for this. And we'll talk about the mid game a little bit too. But 3 things we're going to talk about: structure of the game, so pathing efficiency, and how we know the difference between good and bad ganks.
Mm-hmm.
What makes them what are the advantages and disadvantages, the pros and the cons of every gank? And to get that information, the first thing that we need to improve on is map awareness and kind of panning our camera over lanes. So this is something I'm teaching you that is probably quite a level above your level, but this is really going to fast track you instantly, and it's going to take some time, but this is just the biggest thing that we have to focus on instantly. So it's going to feel a little bit weird at the start to kind of look at lanes. I'll tell you when you should be looking at a lane. So for example, we're doing blue buff here. Let's just say, for example, 2 icons just start clashing like crazy and fighting, and Darius starts losing his health here. This is a good indication that you should be panning your camera over this lane.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're attacking the blue or the Gromp, just quickly clicking on the map here just to gain this information, because potentially Kayle could be 1 HP, and that makes this gank good, right? Let's just say Kayle is 1 HP sitting right here. Now this level 2 gank actually is high percentile because she's low, because she's in a good wave. The wave is in a good position to gank. Maybe you saw that she used a summoner spell, or Darius pinged a flash. So these are all advantages, right? That makes this high percentage. Okay. And how we get that information is just awareness and map awareness and camera panning. So here, you don't have to camera pan here. Nothing interesting happening. So times where you're walking between camps too. You see this idle period where you're walking. Mm-hmm. You could just click to bot and then spacebar back to you. Mm-hmm. For example, this is what the difference is in awareness between the different ranks. So for example, like a challenger player, every single auto attack will be kind of looking at lanes. Okay. You're looking at updates of what each lane is doing, because why is he doing this? It'll update his decision making. It'll make his decisions more high percentile. He'll know what's good and what's bad, just based on that information. So for you now, the only thing I want you to think about is the time period between running between camps. Just have a little look somewhere. You're pathing towards bot, so you want to probably be looking bot, right? That's the lane that we said we wanted to path towards. So we probably want to be looking towards the lane that we are pathing towards. Because when you got that information here on Raptors, right? Okay, so you see here now, after you finish Wolves here, I want you your eyes to be kind of looking at bot. You see icons clashing and Brand's health dropping. Mm-hmm. So usually this means good chance. Okay, sometimes it's just your laner losing, but usually this also means that they're trading back. Mm-hmm. That the enemy team is also low. So this is just the first indication, like I said. looking at the minimap, glancing here, seeing this situation and this situation, and now you know this is something that needs your attention. Not your attention as in, you don't just see this and run straight here. You don't do that, right? Why do we not do that? Because what if they're full HP here and the lane is bad? That's 2 disadvantages. Does that all make sense? Any questions?
Yes.
So that just gets your attention, and now you move with your camera. So let's see actually what, I think you actually did look bot here. Also, yeah, the ward, right? So the minimap gives, the reason I knew this, look at the Yasuo here. Look at his icon.
Yeah.
Right? What did he just do? Yeah, he warded your raptors because he walks up to the wall. This is good awareness. You see this? Like a little pan here. This is very, very good, right? You're not looking at your camp because you're just auto-attacking it. You have a little look here. Good. This is a great example of some good awareness. Good awareness. Okay, so you do it right now, right? And imagine if we didn't do this. We miss out on this gank, right? One small thing I think is the way you path here. Okay, so let's quickly go over the advantages and disadvantages of this gank, okay? And we're going to go through all of them. Okay. What do you think is I'm going to ask you the question. What do you think are the advantages and the disadvantages?
The advantages are that MF has low mana.
Yep. So like low resources, right? So resources are an advantage. Yep.
Yeah, so low resources on both of them. They're pushed up to the tower.
Yep. So they're in a position where kind of their location is an advantage. So yeah, they're overextended. Good.
We have teammates with mana.
So you have. Let's go deeper into that. Yeah, let's go deep. Like teammates with mana. What does this mean? Like gank setup, like Jano Tornado and Brand Stun. So we have gank setup, right? So we have a gank setup. Okay, those are good so far. Very good. So let's think about what some of the disadvantages.
We don't know where Master Yi
Okay, so
is
jungle.
exactly.
Yeah, so jungle is like question mark. Another disadvantage.
They still have summoners, most likely.
Summoners, good. And then the lane state could also probably be a disadvantage because they could just leave here, right?
Right.
So this is still, even looking at it now, you can see that there are plenty of advantages, but there are plenty of disadvantages. I think in a challenger game, this is a bad gank. Okay, so this is where some of like good and bad habits come in. So because it's like 50-50, this gank is like kind of 50-50. In bronze, this will work. And in challenger, this will not work. Because in another disadvantage was if they have a ward, right?
Right.
So in actual fact, this isn't a good play in challenger, but this is a good play in bronze. Because most likely what will happen in high elo is they will back, because usually you want, if there was like a minion wave here, like your minion wave was here and their minion wave was here, right? This would be a very big advantage because it means that they have to stay here to push these minions in. But because they already pushed the minion waves in, we may have lost that timing. So we may have looked bot too late. So you see when the minion wave is here, right? At this position. Right now in this free time when we're walking here is when we have to look bot.
Okay.
Because if they're hitting the wave right now and you say, I can make it here, you're going to path like this and then kill them. So yeah, this gank was more on the flip side. It was more coin flip. It works because this is bronze. And also lastly here, the last thing that's an advantage is you see how they backed off here, right? So you start moving here and then they both go invisible. You see this? This could be them warding, which is a disadvantage. This could be them basing, which means that you could waste your time. But then watch the body language here. They show again. So it means that they're not basing. So if they didn't show here again, this is what you would do. They're not showing, they're not showing, they're not showing. Q back to red buff. Because now, Because now their body language is kind of the last thing that we needed to make this gank work. Their body language is saying, I'm going to fight for the next wave. I'm not basing. And also, I want to try and kill your bot lane. So that was kind of the last advantage that we were kind of missing, right? To kind of swing things. Because before it was pretty 50-50. But now I think it's in our favor. And then you path this way. This is okay because we have sweeper. But just make sure with your pathing, this is the last kind of thing. Now we're talking about gank execution. So we've done all of the decision making, right? We've done all the decision making. Now it's about our gank execution. So when you run around this wall, it's good that you're pathing like this to cut them off instead of kind of like this. So if they were like here, right, and you path like this straight ahead, then they're gonna make this distance, right, with you. But if you path like this, and they're here, now you can cut them off with your Q, right? Do you see what I mean? Just with like the path that you take. So the path that you take is also important because they were already too far up here, which is good. And one more thing about the execution, you should just go for the person CC'd. Because this was a kill on her here. But you wanted to go for the MF, which is also fine. We got both of their sums. But always go for the person that's CC'd with your like skill shot. Because your Q is a skill shot. You know, maybe MF flashes this Q and then, I don't know, kills his teammate. But always go for the person that's like the free kill. We rather take this 400 gold than get both of their flashes. Because it's just 400 gold that we just want. Yeah, MF might flash anyway. So always go for the person CC'd.
Gotcha.
Free kill here, right? If we just go for the center instead. Lastly, when we Q in, after every single auto attack, we want to run towards where they're running away. So auto E here, and then just start instantly kiting towards where they're running. You see this like you're not clicking over here, right? You see this? You're standing still. And then here, you know, if we had the range here, we could, what? Auto E, flash auto E to kill.
Yep.
So, what did we learn from this gank? Decision making. It all starts with map awareness. So glancing at the map first. You see icons and you see your team losing HP, which prompts you to look your camera bot side. And then you gain all the information of the advantages and the disadvantages of the gank. Then the gank execution. We want to take the path where we think they don't have a ward or something. We want to make sure we cut them off. We want to make sure we go for the person that is getting CC'd. And we want to make sure we kite ahead so we can chase them down.
Gotcha. Cool.
And trust me, the things that I'm telling you are way, like I said before, I would tell a gold player the exact same thing. A gold player would make the exact same mistakes.
Okay.
And then now we're going to talk about things like camp cycling. So the reason why we skip camps here, right, is because so how long do each camp spawn? How long is the spawn timer on the single camps, these camps?
That's a great question. I rely on the tool too much.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine to rely on the tool. I think the tool is good, but it's 2:15.
Okay.
So around like 2 minutes, add 15 seconds, right? So if we take this right now, when's it going to spawn? It's going to spawn at like 7:30. 7:30 this is going to spawn, right? Which is going to be completely out of sync with this lane we've got going. We want to keep the lane going, especially when we play champions like that, like clearing, you know, Lilia, Diana, Vi. These are all champion identities that want their camps to cycle. Champions like Elise, Lee Sin, they're a little bit more, I would say the adaptation is much better for them because they're much stronger gank. They have more timings, right? Because they're just like fighting champions that can fight all the time. And that's why these champions are more so reserved for high elo as well, okay? That's why Lee Sin has a terrible win rate in low elo. That's why Elise has a terrible win rate in low elo. Because there's much more adaptation on these champions. Okay, so we fast forward now. We leave up our Krogs. And we also want to work from back to front, okay? So when we're counter jungling, right, we always want to work like this first, not like this. Why do you think we do that?
To
Like if the scuttle
maximize the success of like each move.
kind of, yes. Also, yeah, it's kind of to do with efficiency, but it's more so to do with we want to go for the riskiest thing first with our tempo.
Right. Yeah.
So like this is the most risky thing. So if we like do our camps first, it's gonna give Yi time to kind of clear up again and meet us here. But because we kind of knew, okay, I skipped over something really quick, but we're not gonna worry about it too much. We'll go over it really quick actually. When Yi ganks top here, why do we camera pan over? Because if he doesn't have blue, so first thing, press tab, you see 16 CS. Then you look at him, you see he has blue and red. So what could he have done? He's definitely done blue.
Yeah.
He's
And then
what is it? What do you think? 1, 2, 4, 8, 12, 16, right? That's what he's done.
Yeah.
So now we know exactly what he's done. So now we can track him a lot easier because we know what he's done. So check CS when he ganks, check his buffs. This way, we won't randomly run in here and check this when it's all dead. We won't waste time.
Yeah, I've done that plenty of times.
Yeah. This will help us just track him easy. You make the quick decision. I mean, you make the quick conclusion of what he's done. So now here, yes, Master Yi can part. So the worst thing to do is assume where he's going to go. So usually we assume he's gone here because we're going here, right? But we can never assume. We always have to just play off of guaranteed information. But this is just a general idea of what he's going to do next, right? It's a general idea. So we have a smite up. We know that they have 2 split pushes with Yasuo and Kayle. So we think maybe denying one grub is okay. So we want to work back to front. We take this, then we take this, then we take this. Because the reason we do that, like I was saying before, is because it's harder for Master Yi to fight you here than it is for him to fight you here. So let's just say like you killed Master Yi and his raptors and red are up. If you do your camps before that and then run here, obviously he's going to make it back to this, right?
Right.
So you want to do back to front always. Take their camps. Take the best thing. Take the best thing first. Yes. The best thing you can take here is his camps. The second best thing you can take here is the grub. One grub. The best thing you can take here is, and this is also the safest. This is the most risky. The second most risky. The third most risky because this is just closer to their base and their like things, right? Okay, so we see you here. I think you played this quite well. Okay, always comboing our smite with like an auto attack. So this is a very nice, a little bit late early on the smite, right? You really want to wait for your auto attack to come down. And he's just trying to smite it too, right? He's just AFK trying to smite. And now you see how him invading here is bad because not only are you getting your camp, okay, this is another reason why him invading you here is bad because look how far he is from his camps. So if you end up winning the smite fight, how much time is he just wasting?
Yeah,
a lot of time, right?
10, 20 seconds.
Yeah, whereas if you're like invading him and you get the smite on this, he still can just go to his other camps, right? But this makes it just terrible for him to invade and not get the buff. Okay, so then he fights you, you trade a bit back, and not only that is because he's on a timer as well, right? Now your laners are coming because you're in your jungle, right? So everything works out good here. We get the kill on Yi. We have to be a little bit careful about lanes here, okay? So mid was pinging missing. So I think that this could be a little bit risky. Because we don't know where mid is. And Darius is kind of very far away. And we also have to think here that we don't want to waste time because we really want to clear down and punish those flashes here. You're on a timer to come regank this in 5. You have 5 minutes to do it, right?
Right.
So you better do it before 5 minutes, otherwise you're making a really poor decision. We actually end up getting 2 kills here, which is really good. We're kind of fighting with our strong laner, which is nice. And then we only take 1 here. because now Yi can make it back, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he does run straight there, he can make it back. And that will be bad for us because we probably lose because we... and yeah, we also don't have smite. So just all negatives there.
Mm-hmm.
So then here, okay, you're looking to skip here. Okay, so let's see your decision here. Wave is pushing towards the enemy. So this is one disadvantage. So wave is one disadvantage. What's another disadvantage? Okay, your lane is coming back now. But we're not sure where the ward is. So if we're going to gank, we should gank this way. But the wave already has one disadvantage that we have time to just do this, right? We can just do these camps and then we can gank. You should immediately gank somewhere if you think it's good. So let's say that it was reverse, right? These were their minions and these are our minions. Like, let's just say it's pushing towards us. Then this is a very good time to gank. Because let's see what actually happens here. So you want to gank. I think I tell you not to, and I say we'll explain afterwards. Okay, so now they've actually, the enemy make the decision to push the wave. So now, after we do Raptors, that gives us a sign to go bot now. Because they end up just like, that wave was going towards them, but now they pushed it back. So now this is a much better location, right? This location to gank is better than them being up here. But they have no sums, so it probably still will work. Even if you gank when the wave state is like not the best. Okay, this is where your pathing has to come into the execution of this gank now matters. So you remember how I was talking before about going like this?
Mm-hmm.
This is where that matters because you went like this. And now you did that, they were able to outrun you here. Okay, so you are clicking like this way. Okay, I guess you get minion blocked a little bit. That's kind of sad. But still, I still would be clicking like this and hugging this wall and then queuing the center. But you get minion blocked a little bit, which is kind of unfortunate. One more thing you can do here is when you're walking past this bush, you can ward it with your pink. Just to see if they ever ward or not. And then lastly, the last thing we could have done is actually, you don't really like coming from river. You didn't do it on the first, but you can also just come from this way. Or from this way.
Yeah. Cool.
The only time you can't do that is if you feel like the enemy jungler can just like kill you instantly, which I don't think he can this game. You can just queue away. So, the pathing, here it mattered. So if you were already here right now, you could queue the center. You see that? This difference in this position? Because you could have been with Janna, no? Maybe a little bit behind Janna. Yeah, you could have been a little bit. She's kind of fast, so and you get minion blocked. But yeah, main point is cut them off.
Cut them off. Got it. Yeah, why is Sundered Sky a good pick here?
Just because when you run Conqueror, usually you're playing more of like a tank role where you want HP and tankiness early. Okay, Vi with Vi with lethality does not scale very well at all. So basically, you get outscaled at like, if you run lethality, you should go Halo Blades and you're trying to just win early game really quickly.
Yeah.
And you should do this when you verse squishy comps like the one you're versing. So this game, Halo Blades, Eclipse, Sundered Sky would be good. But the scaling build is Sundered Sky, Black Cleaver, Frozen Heart, or CDR items. You just want as much CDR as possible. You're basically more so playing to scale and to be a tank. Does that make sense with Conqueror? You can still go lethality with Conqueror if you'd like, but I just think you may as well go Halo Blades. And okay, why do we not go for this gank here?
I guess
let's run through the advantages and disadvantages again. Advantages. Body language, I guess. He's walking up.
He's a 3/4 health.
I wouldn't say this. I wouldn't call that an advantage right now.
Yeah.
The advantage is that we have ult, I guess. So we have our ultimate ability, our R. So we have good gank setup at least. But what are Aurelian's? Okay, so what are the disadvantages? Don't know the ward. Don't know. So ward, summoners, resources. We do have ult for gank setup, but we don't really have much follow-up because Aurelion Sol, as you can just see, just uses ult. And we also have guaranteed plays here on the map. So if it doesn't look good, if it doesn't look high percentage, we just don't go for it. We just farm. No problem with farming. Then this is high percentage. Why is this high percentage?
Because he's alone.
It's just alone. He's
And
in the pit.
Darius.
He's dead. Darius is here. I would say in future, just in terms of mechanics, you should try and lead with ult after they flash, just to guarantee you hit your Q. So it's ult and then Q him into your Darius.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Because like imagine he flashes your Q here and then, I don't know, maybe gets out of your ult range.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't really matter how you play this one, but just in general, I think you should ult first.
Of course. Yeah, because queuing him into him is
Yeah,
much better.
yeah. Then here, you know, it's fine to skip our wolves here because we want to play on the bot side of the map. And you see in these situations, you really want to like, you want to go somewhere, right? But like, what are you seeing here that makes you decide to part this way? You want to go dragon, right? That's what we said.
Yeah, I think that was it.
So why? Okay, so yeah, Yasuo is dead. I mean, you probably could dragon here. Probably. But I know that your bot lane wants to base. I know that your Aurelion Sol wants to base. So it may just be I mean, still, it's not good enough, right? Now imagine your Aurelion Sol bases, your bot lane bases, and then these two randomly run to you.
Yeah.
Because anything like that can happen. Like, especially like we were saying, low elo, people do not like doing objectives. So we're just not going to do it. But now, okay, there you go, top side. And now everyone is back. Aurelion Sol's back. Your bot lane is coming here. Well, your Janet's going top, but does this look better, like a better dragon now?
Mm-hmm.
Much better, because they're all the way over here. They can never make it. He even tries to run. They can never make it, okay? Another thing you need to start doing is just queuing to camps, okay? Like in general. Because I think I saw you do it a couple times just on like the Wolves and the Raptors. You need to just queue to be a bit more fast. You check it. Okay, good. You queue to it. Good. And then, you know, we see this MF here again. Map awareness. We know that this wave is good for us bot, right? So we're already looking there. And then she shows. She's alone. We know Senna's top. Free kill. Not free kill. Okay. Let's go back. This was okay. We just take a flash. I think this is a situation where you don't even have to use Q, okay? You can just literally run to cut her off like this. And just start auto-attacking her.
Yeah.
And then when she flashes, you can Q after her, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, it's
so you
best to
only
try to get a
yes.
Q, up close.
Yeah, it's like with any champion. If you don't have to use your mobility spell, you don't use it. You just run here, go into her, start beating her up with auto attacks and ease. And then when you're right next to her, you can Q because she won't flash it then. And then by that time, your ult's up and then you kill her. Good again, little chunk. I think you actually could have just killed this guy. You're really strong right now, but it's okay to still back out. Because now we just want to get a base to get Eclipse. Nice. Very good. You see how the flow of this game is, right? The cycling. Okay, there's someone here. Fight happens, whatever. Kill them. Back to camps. We probably maybe could have gone on Kale. You see here earlier. Same thing again. We could have killed Kale, but Darius can just do it anyway, right? Cut her off. You have ult. So awareness thing again. Because can she make it here before you make it here? Like you definitely meet each other here with your Q ult range. So whatever. Cycle down. Fight happens. This is jungle, okay? Farm. Fight happens. You have good awareness. React. So right here, I think you could have like maybe just like flashed over the wall and ulted or something, but it's still okay to take it slow because like you kind of miss out on this, right? Because you don't have Q, which is okay.
Yeah, when I guess one of my problems is stopping a camp if I see
Yeah.
a fight.
Yeah, I mean, a kill on center here is better than the Raptors, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, you should be positioned here on this wall. Okay, I'm gonna wait for my Q, but then if it's gonna end really early, I'm just gonna use my abilities. Just use what you have. Just use it, because like worst case, okay, you get one kill and you feel like you wasted like your ult and your flash, but like it's not wasted for one kill. Ult and
Yeah.
flash is always worth one kill.
Hmm.
And even here, right, just like instantly Q flash.
Hmm.
Not anymore. Your decision to not Q in here was better. It's just your earlier like decisiveness back here. And then here, why do we go into his camps instead of the Krugs? Because, let's see why. He's dead for 3. We just kind of want to start putting the pressure on in terms of taking his camps. I mean, this was like this isn't really an explanation of why you would do this, but these kind of opportunities are what you want to look for.
So it was a little risky going for his camps
It
there.
was a little risky, yeah, because like what are we? I mean, if Senna was running bot playing normally, Yasuo spawning in 4, like the worst case here, it's a little bit risky, but the worst case here is like Senna and Yasuo randomly just like show up here, and then you probably just have to use flash. That's it. So yeah, probably in hindsight we should have just done the Krugs and then ganked bot like this, but this works out pretty good anyway. Like sometimes, yeah, it was a little bit risky. We'll leave it at that. Camps. Okay, so now when it gets to 14 minutes, the game becomes, you know how we're kind of clearing like this right now?
Hmm.
The game kind of becomes like this. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
where you're playing a side instead of playing like these two different options. This is pre 14 minutes play. And this is kind of like after 14 minutes.
Okay.
This
Cool.
doesn't mean that in before 14 minutes, it doesn't mean you can't go here. It's just like a kind of general idea.
Very
A
cool.
general idea is when the Rift Herald is up or the Dragon is up. So let's say, for example, you're in base right now. The Dragon is spawning. You want to run straight to the Dragon, and then you want to play on this side. You want to play for this camp. You want to play for this tower, this Dragon. But before 14 minutes, you can't really have that luxury of just like running to his camps, right? Or like, you can't have that luxury to run straight to Dragon. Because another thing is that dragons take a long time to do. And in the early game, it's much more important that you're keeping up your cycling of your farm. Now it's more just about getting objectives. And so to answer your weakness that you thought you had, direction in the mid game is just thinking about the dragon and the side you're playing on. So you want to play towards strong members of your team. You want to play towards the objectives that you want to go for, which is the dragon in this situation. You want to use your pings. You kind of want to be like a leader in the game and make plans for your team, like pinging dragon, pinging towers. It may not always work, but it's worth a try. And you see here how we're playing on this side. Even though we did clear down. Let's actually see. I think you actually wanted to go to dragon straight away, and maybe it was my doing that sent you topside. Yeah. So in this situation, I think this is okay
Yeah,
to
I
start
think I
from.
did.
Yeah, you actually did want to go straight to dragon here, which was correct. But I think in this situation, it's okay because you don't have this to farm, and this is still like 18 seconds. So as long as you're kind of, yeah, I think going for dragon here would have been fine. You were just playing a bit greedy here, which is okay as well. Being greedy in solo queue is good.
Yeah.
The reason being greedy in solo queue is good is because imagine if you ran here right now. Like, are you gonna do it right now with no team and everyone's just like doing their own thing? No. So you still want to be very greedy. Does that make sense? Like if you ran to dragon here, you could just be 1v1ing Yi or like anything can happen. You don't want the situation to be where you're doing the dragon and your team's just doing their own thing and then you're not farming and you like die or get dragon stolen.
Happens to me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why this kind of like pathing is good. So we'll see in the next round, right? So after we take all these camps. Camps, fight. Take the tower. Darius starts basing. This is when you should base as well. And now this point in the game, right? We don't want to go to this. Okay, so what is up on this side of the map? It is your red side camps.
We were gonna. I think we were heading towards Herald.
To the red,
right?
yeah. We didn't realize. I mean, I didn't realize the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the point in the game where you want to run here, take the crab, take the rift, and then you want to take his camps.
Mhm.
Instead of doing this, because this is just too slow, we want to do this. We want to be fast now because we're winning, right? We want to put pressure on the game.
Mhm.
Doing your own camps here is just too slow.
Gotcha.
The only time you do your own camps is if, like, say, for example, your entire team was dead here. You do your own camps then. Why do you think that
Yeah.
is?
Safe.
Safe. Yeah, because the enemy team could stop you from doing all of this.
Mhm.
So yeah, see, there is times where you do your own camps, but it's not like it shouldn't be your default. When your team is like, say your team was in base right now, for example, you can do these camps while you wait for them to come out. Say your team is dead right now, right? When you, like we just said, you can clear all your camps and you're just waiting for them basically. It's called downtime. Downtime is where you're just waiting for your team. And then as soon as they're up like this, right? You kind of want to be thinking that you're playing in the same line as them. So when they're like this far up on the lanes, you also want to be kind of around this area just because you want to follow up on the fight and because you want to take their camps. So being like here right now would be absolutely dreadful, right? Because you could just be
Yeah.
taking this, and following up on any potential fight. Taking this would be pretty bad right now as well. Although you could just be playing to farm and take red and then take this and then take this. So it's still the same thing. Play on the right side, but play on the same like level, on the same line as your team.
Okay.
Here again. Okay, he uses flash. That's good. Yep.
Should I like ever really worry about pushing the lane, or should I just focus on?
You can no,
counter-jungling
you definitely
for the
can
most
push the lane, but camps are probably priority for you because,
part? Okay.
like, for example, you probably shouldn't push top here because you want to be close for your team in this fight. But let's say, for
Gotcha.
example, you were like coming out of base here and your team was like all here, like all on the mid lane or something. You can be, basically you want these waves to be kind of like pushed into them. If your wave is like here and no one's touching it or no one's taking it, you can go and push it. You want waves to be pushed is the main thing. Because waves being pushed means that that line is kind of further up. Does that make sense? So like if all of your waves are like this far, it means that this line that you can play on becomes like this. But if
Right.
if the enemy waves are like all the way like this, right? Let's say just for example, the line that you can play is no longer like this because it's more so like this. Waves kind of dictate the line of where you can play. But this is something that you don't have to worry about too much now. I did say I didn't want to overload you, but we're going through a lot of mid-game stuff,
No, you're good.
which I think is okay.
That's great.
And yeah, the last thing is, of course, we tried to do the Baron, we tried to do the correct play, but our team wants to go and chase kills mid. Look at your team here.
And
MF.
the fact that I just kept trying.
Yeah, you know. I mean, as soon as you see this again, I think one thing you need to pay attention to, the main thing is just your map. So glancing at the mini map. I don't know if you have like a huge. I've had players that kind of play with
I have a
huge
pretty
monitors.
Big monitor.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a little too big.
If you have to like turn your head to look at the minimap, that may be an actual physical problem.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna wrap things up there.
Okay.
And I'll be writing some notes for you just in case you do book any future sessions. We'll just be able to keep
I
track
for
of all
sure
these
will.
things.
Yeah.
And we'll have some kind of like keeping track of the progression, the good and the bad.
Awesome.